Okay, today is day 5 of force fetch with 11-month-old Bexley. So yesterday she ended on a really positive note. She was taking like 15-foot retrieves where she was picking up dummies off the ground. We just introduced the idea of a double marked retrieve, and then we introduced some new dummies, most of which she did great with, but she struggled a little bit with the one Dokken dummy. So today's agenda is to pick up where we left off. So we'll start with some easier stuff, just some easy pick up off the ground drills with dummies she likes, and then we'll move on to the dummies she doesn't like so much, and we'll start to do some more of the double marked retrieves too. And you might notice we're in a different part of the house now. Dogs are place-based learners, so it's really important that you do kind of mix up where you teach them so that they learn that just because you're asking them to retrieve a dummy on one room or one side of the house doesn't mean you don't expect them to also pick up the dummy in another room or a different part of the house. So it is important to keep moving locations where we train as well. All right, Beck, ready? Stay. We'll start with the winged canvas dummy that she likes. And this is about a 10-foot retrieve. You don't want to push her the hardest immediately. A little bit of review. Ready? Fetch. Good. Good girl. Good job. That's a good girl. Drop. You can see she's already getting used to just picking up the dummy and coming back to me. I didn't have to call her that time, whereas I've had to call her quite a bit in previous training sessions. Good. Stay. All right. This is a large canvas, or the large plastic dummy that Stay. Some dogs struggle with, but she did well with. I've laid that dummy almost 20 feet away across the room. Let's see how she does. Ready? Fetch! Come here. Fetch. Good. Okay, sorry, I know most of that was out of view of the camera, but she went to the dummy and nosed it and then saw that one of the little dog toys was laying on a bed nearby. So she decided to skip the retrieve that I'd asked her to do and to pick up a rope toy and bring that to me instead. So I had to go correct her. So anytime we take a step backwards in training, come here. That means that we need to set them up for success with an easier one. So we'll use a different dummy, and I'll do it at about 12 feet. Whenever they hit a snag, it's important to back up to help them succeed. Fetch. Good. Good girl. Here, Beck. Pickup was nice. Obviously, needed an extra command there to come. Drop. So now she did that well. Let's do a longer one with a dummy she likes again. Stay. Okay, I've set this one out at about, 18 or 20 feet where she had the mistake with the other dummy. Let's see if we've corrected the issue. Ready? Fetch. Good. That's a good girl. Very nice. So this time she trotted right past the other toy that had distracted her earlier. Drop. I think it's important that I did leave that toy out, even though it did distract her earlier, because she needs to learn to complete the retrieve no matter what other distractions are there. So this time she walked right by that toy to complete the retrieve. Come here. Sit. Stay. Now we'll go back to the dummy that she struggled with to see if we really did learn our lesson. All right, so here's 20 feet with the hard dummy again. Ready? Fetch. Good. That's such a good girl. Good job, Beck. Good. Drop. Very nice. So we had an issue. We worked through it. Sit. So the important thing too as you're training is to make sure that you remain calm and focused. You know, it was disappointing that she failed the retrieve of that dummy the first time, but we just quickly took some systematic steps to work through it, and now she's doing great. Good. So now let's try that Dokken dummy that she struggled with yesterday. All right, come here, Beck. Sit. I'm gonna line her up facing the direction in which I want her to make the retrieve. Stay. Since she struggled with this, I think it'd be unfair to ask her to do a 20-foot retrieve of it immediately. So we'll start with the simple comeback drill. Ready? Fetch. Yes, good girl. Good job. Good. Drop. Good girl. You can see it's just harder for her to hold this one. It's just bigger and heavier than anything we've dealt with. All right, come here. But she did well there, so we'll keep moving forward. Sit. Stay. So we'll do a pickup off the ground, but I'm only going to do it a few feet out because I want her to succeed. And I'm even angling the dummy so that it's a little narrower when I set it this way, trying to help her pick it up. Okay, you ready? And I'm going to move with her to give extra encouragement. Set. Fetch. Good, yes, pick it up. So I gave her a second to make up her mind. It wasn't. She didn't complete the task fast. All right, when they throw tantrums like this, help them get up because laying down isn't going to do any good. Don't let go of the ear. Yes, good girl! And help them get the dummy in their mouth so that they can see that they alone can turn off the pressure just by taking it into their mouth. Good girl. Good dog. Such a good girl. Drop. Good. So yeah, still struggling with this dummy, but we succeeded in the end. Good. Let's take a step back again and just do another comeback drill with it. Ready? Let's go fetch. Yes. Oh. Make sure you grip it appropriately. There you go. Good girl. Good. This is kind of helping her learn how to balance it too, so it is manageable for her. Good girl. But this is so important to keep pushing them. If we just give up and just use easier dummies, then your dog might give up on you if you shoot a big goose in the field or something that's harder to retrieve. So we need to push through this. That's why we force fetch. Sit. This dog has a very strong natural desire to retrieve, but even she is hesitating a little bit on something that's harder. So if you remember earlier when we were first starting force fetch, we would do the comeback drill and then we would start to put the dummy closer and closer to the ground to ease her into picking up off the ground. So we'll do that with this dummy now. Ready? Fetch. Yes, good girl, good. Let's go back. Yes, good girl. Sit. So I was holding the dummy just an inch or two off the ground to assist her. Good. She grabbed it. She had the drop, so we had some pressure to apply, which then she grabbed the dummy and finished the retrieve. Good. So let's do a little bit of rapid fire now just to get her into some kind of rhythm. Sit. So again, I won't be narrating as much, but for any of you that were athletes in high school or college, like maybe you remember how important it is to warm up before the game to get into rhythm so that you shoot better. It's the same thing with a dog. We just need to get her in the groove without thinking so much and just using some muscle memory. Ready? Okay, fetch. Yes, that's a good girl. Good dog. Back. Good. That's so good. Drop. Good so good. Drop. Good job. Good job. Are you ready? Okay, fetch. Yes, good girl. Good. Right here. Hey. Sit. Good. That's such a good dog. Drop. Good. Ready? Okay, let's go fetch. Yes, good girl. Good. Sit. Good girl. Drop. Good. Okay, fetch. Yes, good girl. She took a second to sniff it there, but I still didn't apply pressure. I just gave her a second to make the right decision, and she did. Good. That time it was laying on the ground entirely. I was still just propping it up with a hand. Good. Okay, let's go fetch. Yes, good girl. You see how there I removed my hand a split second before she reached it? That's why I like doing this rapid fire. You just kind of trick them into picking it up off the ground. Ready? Okay, let's go fetch. Fetch. Yes, good girl. Good. Good job. That's a good dog. Drop. Good. Ready? Okay, let's go fetch. Yes, come on. Uh-oh. Let's go. She's getting a little distracted sniffing the feathers. And, you know, I probably should have done a dummy in between where I have a Dokken dummy without feathers attached. And that would have been an easier transition for her. Drop. But, you know, usually I only have a dog for a month, so I try to push them as fast as I can. Ready? Let's go fetch. Yes, good girl. Good. Don't go past me. Good. Good dog. Drop. Ready? Okay, fetch. Yes, good girl, good girl. So it's just important here that we're just taking little baby steps. I'm not pushing her too far and like tossing the dummy out several feet yet. We'll get there. Come here. Sit. Good. Okay, fetch. Yes, good girl. Good. Good job. That's so good. Ready? Okay, fetch. Let's go. Come on. When I give her too much freedom, she takes advantage. But good job. You made the right decision going back. Good. Such a good dog. Yes. Lots of praise, lots of baby talk. Good. Do you want it? Are you ready to go? Sit. Ready? Okay, fetch. Yeah! Good girl. Good. Now she's doing come back off the ground. Very nice. With her least favorite dummy. So it just takes a little bit of patience. Good girl. Come on. Ready? Sit. All right. This is going to be harder. I'm going to set it out. I'm going to quit giving her so much momentum. Set it there. Ready? Okay, fetch. Yes! Good girl! Hopefully you can see the difference there between that rapid firework that I was doing, where we had all that forward momentum helping carry us both towards the dummy, to this, where it was much more sedentary. Good girl. Good. All right, now we can extend distance. All right, sit. Stay. All right, the dummy's about 7 feet away. She's got to pick it up all by herself. Are you ready? Set. Fetch. Yay! Good girl! Good dog. Good work. Good dog. Drop. All right, I'm going to call that good with the pheasant dummy. To go from her being weird about picking it up off the ground to going that far out. I know it's not as far as the other dummies, but again, baby steps. We'll work on that further in the coming days, but very nice. That's such a good girl. Stay. All right, so the only other thing that I wanted to work on today was to expand on the double marked retrieves that we were doing. Come here, babe. Good. Sit. It's Since we only did the one yesterday, we're gonna go back to easy dummies. So we'll use a couple small ones she likes, and I'm gonna go place them in a couple different directions from her. All right, and so here the idea is to get her used to being lined up and going for the dummy that you ask her to grab. Let's see. Usually they want to get second or the last dummy they saw first. So in order to help her succeed, we'll continue doing that for now. Once we get further along, I'll make her do the first dummy first, just so we can really proof the concept that she's taking the line I want. All right, are you ready? Set, fetch. Good girl! Ah! So same issue as yesterday, where she picked up the first dummy really well. Ah! But then she wanted to go try to get the second dummy in her mouth as well. Fetch. Good. Hey! Right here. Good girl. Come here. She really wants to get that other dummy. So it's really good that she wants to get the other dummy, but this is all part of obedience training, drop, where she only gets to retrieve when sent, and then she gets the dummy that I want and brings them back one at a time. So now we'll go for the second dummy. Fetch. Good girl. Good. You can see how much more calm and focused she is now when she knows she got the last dummy out. Good girl. Drop. Good job. Good. All right, let's do that one more time and see if we can get away with doing it without quite so many corrections on their delivery. Beck, you need to sit. Good. Stay. All right, we'll use a couple canvas dummies. Again, we'll do one that direction. You might notice I'm walking out to place the dummies. Don't just stand next to your dog and toss them. And then it seems like it's too much of a game. And again, they need to be focused and ready to adhere to an obedience command. So by placing the dummies, it's making it much more workmanlike, where we can keep them focused better. All right, I'm gonna have her get first dummy first this time. It's at about 12 feet. Ready? Fetch. Hey! And if they go for the wrong dummy, just call them back, correct them, line them up again. So she tried to go for last dummy. Just like I said, they usually want to get last dummy first, but I want her to learn to take my line. Ready? Fetch. I just took an extra step with her just to get the point across. Good girl! Good job. That's such a good dog. Good. When they're first learning anything, it's so important to help them succeed. So just taking that step with her helped her to pick the right dummy this time. Good. All right, so I'm lining her up. This dummy is slightly out of her sight because of a piece of furniture, but again, it's about 10 or 12 feet out, and she has seen it, so it's kind of a memory mark now. Ready? Fetch. She's a little hesitant because I just called her off that one. Let's go. So I just gave her a little more encouragement. Good girl! And it's totally normal for him to get a little confused, because I did just yell at her to leave it alone. Good, that's such a good girl. Drop. Good, good job. That's such a good dog. All right, I think rather than do another round of this, we will just quit with that for today. I mean, it's amazing if you just let them sleep on it, what they'll absorb, and I would expect tomorrow again we'll see progression on the double marked retrieves. But for now, let's end on just I guess we haven't used a squirrel dummy yet today. I want to just end her on a long retrieve where she picks up the dummy off the floor all the way across the house, which is about 30 feet from here. But since I haven't used this squirrel dummy yet today, and it's not always her favorite, we have to back off and make it a little easier at first. Ready? Okay, fetch. Yes, good girl. Good. Drop. Good job. Good. Okay, come here. So now that she did so well with that, let's make it a little harder. Sit. We'll have her pick it up off the ground from a stationary position. It's only about 6 or 7 feet out. Ready? Fetch! Yes, good girl! Such a good dog. Good. Yes. Drop. Okay, now let's see if I can get to the finale I was hoping for today. Come here. Bex, sit. Stay. I apologize, this will be out of view of the camera, but it's the only way I can get 30 feet in. So we'll line her up, sit, make sure she's really focused, on your mark, get set, fetch. Good girl! Such a good dog! That was excellent. She walked right by that big rope toy that distracted her earlier. All the way across the house. Good. Drop. Good girl! And then she picked up a dummy that she doesn't particularly love with the fur on it and had a very nice delivery without needing to be called. Such a good girl. That's an excellent place to end day 5. And we'll see what the weather is tomorrow, but she might be ready to go outside already tomorrow. We're going to repeat everything we've just done over the past 5 days, but just have the added distraction of being outside in the yard with birds chirping and squirrels running around and dogs barking in the backyard. But good girl.